I've got a quick one for you today. The push-up is an exercise that we do a ton at the Athletic Way for good reason. Tons of core work, tons of upper body work, and just tons of system integration to make sure that everything is kind of staying optimized through other patterns. It's a great teaching tool. But one of the biggest flaws that we see with the push-up is actually not completing the push-up all the way through. Okay, so what do I mean by that is we typically see, especially when we're going for higher repetitions or timed events or something like that, where a lot of our athletes will want to just kind of pump through as quick as they possibly can. And when they do so, what they end up doing is just kind of staying there and pumping through just the arm position versus getting the full shoulder blade position through. Okay. Again, if you're going for a timed event where maybe you're getting some testing for some military academy intro or something like that, hey, like you're kind of walking the line between kind of risk and reward of completing an exercise a certain way. But in a training environment, when we're trying to optimize the movement and to execute well, we want to make sure that we're going on a controlled movement and getting that shoulder blade all the way through. And what that does is it attacks a muscle called the serratus anterior. And what that muscle does is it keeps the shoulder blade glued to your rib cage. You want your shoulder blade and your rib cage staying, or your shoulder blade staying on your rib cage, nice and glued, and getting this nice movement through the arm action. Versus if my shoulder blade is kind of popped off of my rib cage, that's when the shoulder joint itself can then become compromised, and we see a lot of overuse injuries. Okay, so what does this look like? So from a push-up perspective, again, as I go down into my push-up, the very first thing we like to do is say, hey, start from the finish. So if I'm starting my push-up position, but I'm kind of caved in and my upper back is kind of flattened out there, what I want to make sure of is I'm pushing all the way through, getting a little bit of that rounding through the upper back. That's okay. That's the thoracic position, and that's filling out that entire upper back. So then when I go for my push-up, you're going to see the shoulder blades come together, and then at the top, and they come apart again. So I get through that flattened position. I'm pushing all the way through my shoulder blade. Versus if I'm down and I'm just kind of like pumping through my arm, there's no movement through that shoulder blade. Again, I want to get that shoulder blade all the way through. So nice control down, up, all the way through that position. That's how we want to see the push-up completed. Again, it's a full push through. So I'm there, I'm pushing all the way through, filling out that space. My shoulder blades will come away from each other slightly. Okay, that's okay. That's what we want to see. That helps can keep the nice congruency of that shoulder joint all the way through that motion. If not, again, we're getting some compressive forces and we're getting a lot of friction just happening within that joint itself. My shoulder blades are kind of pinned back and I'm just pumping through my arms. Okay, so make sure as you're doing your push-ups, guys, it doesn't matter which variation of a push-up, complete that push-up all the way through for optimal performance. Execution allows you to move well, train hard, and continue to live athletic.